Hi friends, it's Terri Gaines, independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. In this video tutorial, I'm going to share some cards created with the wildly flowering 12 by 12 designer series paper. This designer series paper is absolutely beautiful. There's some gorgeous floral designs on one side of the paper, and on the other side you have these coordinating background prints. In the packet you receive 2 each of the 6 double-sided designs. They coordinate with these 6 Stampin' Up! Exclusive colors that are available in the cardstock, ink pads, blends, and a variety of different products. Absolutely love the coordination of Stampin' Up's products. Before I share about the cards in this tutorial, I want to talk about Stampin' Up! Special this month. For June 2024, Stampin' Up! Has an additional 10% off the stamp and die bundles. There's already a 10% savings, but this month there is an additional 10% savings. Now this is just the stamp set and dies, not the stamp set and punches. Those are not discounted. On my blog, I have a 5-page PDF you can download of all the current 2024-2025 dies. I have a notation that tells you which of the dies are bundled with a stamp set. They're the ones that are an additional 10%, including the online exclusive stamp and die bundles. And as I mentioned, it does not include the stamps and punch bundles, but it also does include the die cutting machine, both the standard and the mini is available in white and boho blue. I also want to quickly tell you that if you place an order with me, let me rephrase that, if you do not have a current demonstrator that you are working with and are one of my customers or looking for a demonstrator to work with, I would love to have you contact me. As a thank you gift, I have a fun fold each month. This month, my fun fold is using the Magnolia Mood dies and the Nature Sweetness designer series paper. Now, I give you all the materials cut and ready to assemble. You need to use your own stamps, ink, and adhesive. You get a postcard with instructions, supplies for a mini card. I email you an unlisted video that will walk you through assembling the card, give you all the tips and details so you can recreate that fun fold using different product. And at a $50 order, I have a Create with Terri card kit. It has 6 4 by 6-inch designer series papers and 12 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock, and that's what I'm going to be working with today. This month I have the wildly flowering designer series paper and coordinating colors in the packet. And then at a $75 order, I have this bonus gift, which is 131 card sketches in a 22-page booklet. Over the last 3 years, I designed these card sketches for different team events. My Inking of You is my team name, and I'm sending this to customers who place a $75 order or more. Now, I do want to mention, do not use my host code if you are placing an order over $150 or over. Do not use it so you get host credits. I will still send you my thank you gifts. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. As I mentioned, the cards I'm going to share are using the wildly flowering designer series paper, 5 of the coordinating colors plus basic white. You get 2 each of these in the packet. Now you can use different designer series paper, different color cardstock. These ideas can be incorporated into any project. So what I'm going to do is just share some tips. When I work with the different designer series papers and different color cardstocks, the first thing I want to do is to assign my designer series paper to the cardstock I want to work with that. So as I look at these, and I love this side of the paper, there are some prints on this side, so I'll look at those if they are bigger prints. But what I love about the designer series paper, it's beautiful. All you really need to do is put it on your card base and add a sentiment. You've got a beautiful card. So I'm going to work with this, and I'm going to say, well, I think I want to work, I'm going to look at this color, and this is the one. Crumb Cake, I want to work with this. Now for these two, right away, I know these are the Moody Mauve. So I have 2 card bases. I have 2 of those. I'm just going to set that aside. Now I have these colors left. This one is probably the best choice for the Mossy Meadow. Now I have these left, and you can cut these into smaller pieces. So I'm going to work with this print with those two. I'm going to work this print with one of these, and that's going to give me one of my early espressos to use for layering. So that's how I'm going to do this. Now, I bet I've already confused everybody on how I work with this. I do want to let you know I do have a PDF that you can download from my blog. It has pictures of how I design the cards. It tells you what the designer series paper is cut for each of those cards. And then if there's coordinating cardstock, what that is cut to. And then I show you how I cut the basic white. There's two basic white. One I use for inside sentiment layers, and one for inside sentiment layer and then outside sentiment layers. So you're going to be able to download this and have this as a reference. I will link this video right here. The video you're watching right now will be this link. So down the road, you can click on that and watch this again. Fast forward through the areas you don't need to rewatch. So that's how I assigned these. So let me first talk about the basic white and the early espresso. That's the one I told you that I have cut. The other pieces are card bases. A card base, you just fold this in half. You're going to have your card that you can open this way or you can open this way. So what I have for the early espresso, I only show it in this card right here. It's 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. So when I cut 2 of those out to create these cards, I end up with this section left. So when I cut those 2 sections off, I have this section left. I use the stylish shape banners, and I took the largest of the banners and I cut 4 of those out. And then I utilized those on some cards here. So that's what I did with the early espresso extra cardstock. Now let's talk about one of the basic whites at a time. This one is the one here, inside sentiments. So I was able to get 4 inside sentiments. So you can cut your cardstock however you prefer to cut it. I would cut it at 4 inches and then cut that. Then I'd cut the next section at 4 inches and get that. Hopefully I'm still on the video. And then at the bottom, you're going to get this strip. Okay, so that's how I cut this one. I provided in the PDF those measurements. Now, this only gives you 5 inside sentiment layers. For the lighter colors, I did not put anything in here. You can stamp and write on here. I saved those for the darker color cards. So that's how I cut this. So I have 4 of those, plus this strip you can use for a sentiment. So let's talk about the other piece. This might be really confusing, so hopefully this is going to be helping you, but it's how I'm utilizing this card kit to get these cards that I'm sharing with you. So as I mentioned, I get 1 more inside sentiment from that. So I cut this at 2 3/4. And then when you do that, you can cut this at 4. So you're going to get that 4 inch, and then you're going to have this extra section. I cut a banner out of here. And then this section here, I have 4 circles using the 1 3/4 inch punch. And then I utilize these other banners to create these for the sentiments. So I'm sharing in the PDF how I created those. So in saying all of that, you have the measurements for the designer series paper. You have the measurements for the coordinating cardstock. So now I'm going to walk through these cards and just kind of show you how I created these so you can use this reference and be able to recreate these. I also want to let you know I used the stamp set called Simply Said for all of my sentiments. This is in the new annual catalog. I love the variety of these. I love that they can be used for the punches and for the stylish shape. So you got lots of versatility. If you don't own a die cutting machine, you can use punches or cut your sentiments with your paper snips. And then the ink color I used for all of them was the Early Espresso for my sentiments. So for card 1, we have the designer series paper is 2 by 5.5. I just layer that right on the card bases. This I consider a dark color, so I have the 1 each of those inside sentiment layers, and then I use the circle punch for the sentiment. I do want to let you know I like looking at the designer series paper and deciding where I'm going to place it. If I brought this one down here, I'm covering up that beautiful flower, but I moved it up here. And the same thing here. This is more of a void area, so that's where I placed it. So that's kind of how I decide that. Here is card 3 and 4, identical in layout, the same sentiment banner, different sentiments. Here, the card base, on the card base, I have the crumb cake, and then Early Espresso is what I use for the coordinating cardstock. That's 2 1/4 by 5.5. The designer series paper is 2 by 5 1/4. So that added coordinating color just pops out that Early Espresso. I like how that works. So then we have card 5 and 6. Now for this one, I took that 6 by 4 and I cut it in half to get 2 3 by 4s. Have the orientation of my card different. Both of these, I put the banner on here and I just used a circle punch and then another banner here. As I mentioned, this designer series paper just makes the card absolutely beautiful. For cards 7 and 8, I chose to keep the designer series paper at 4 inches. I cut off 3/4 of an inch to make it 4 1/4. Used it as a card front. And then I added banners on this one, and then a banner and a circle on this one for the outside sentiments. Now for card number 9, I chose to take that same designer series paper. This is the opposite side of this print here. Let me bring that paper back in and I can show you. I just love the coordination of the other side. This is the other side of this paper. So what I did was I cut this strip at 1 1/4, cut that off, cut it 5 1/4. The remaining was this side. So if you flip this over, you're going to notice that that's the same designer series paper. So then I layered it like this, put my banner, and then I like trimming off an edge, just making a different look when you trim it off and have the banner put on like that. And again, that banner can go anywhere to, so you don't cover up the beautiful designs that this paper creates for you. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it gave you uses for your Create with Terri card kits or any of your designer series paper and coordinating color cardstock. As I mentioned, you can use other colors and designs for these. If you like my free tutorials, I would love you to like, share, and watch my videos. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I hope you enjoyed this project. Take care and happy creating.